When my guest was dressing me earlier, I wish there were a camera there so that I could say to all my friends on the block, Helen Mirren tied my tie. Not that well, but well enough. Let me get serious. My guest tonight is known and loved by television and film audiences on several continents, especially the two major ones. And as they say, she is the star of the delicious PBS series Prime Suspect. I remember running home hoping my tape machine had functioned because I had to be late for one episode. This is Helen Mirren, nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for the way she went and portrayed Queen Charlotte in The Madness of King George, which had another title and play. We'll get to that. Easy to see why the king was mad about her. Is that embarrassing? Have I gone too far?
No, no.
And of course, there isn't one soul who would recognize you in this moment, as our German friends say, because of how decked out you were as the queen.
Well, but really, one of the reasons I wanted to do the part very much was actually just to do with wearing lots of diamonds and very big hair.
You like to get all dressed up?
I love getting dressed up. I love the jewels and the diamonds and the enormous dresses and big hair.
And it was, of course, a radical contrast from the rather severe costuming in Prime Suspect.
This is true. This also as well. But I had just done a play called A Month in the Country in London that I'm doing now in New York as well. And that had been, again, you know, I was doing that because of these gorgeous dresses that I could sort of swoosh around the stage like this. Nice dresses. And,
it's a side of you one might not suspect from
big side
Prime
of me.
Suspect.
I mean, if Barbie dolls had been around when I was a little girl, I would have been a major Barbie doll collector.
Really?
I am actually. I mean, I'm too grown up for Barbie dolls now, but I have a secret hankering for Barbie dolls. And when my various little girls that I know in my life have them, I snatch them off them, saying, I think, well, it'd be nicer to put the dress on like this, don't you think? Look, you can comb my hair like this, you know, if you like. So, yeah, the costumes are always very important to me. I love costumes.
I was shocked at something that I just saw.
That's why I dressed you this morning, you see. I didn't dress him, I tidied him up.
Yeah,
he had his tie on back to front. He hadn't, his shirt was undone.
People say to me, I can tell you're one of those...
And you have an elastic band around your wrist, and I want to know why.
Is there nothing you won't bring out on television?
So I do exactly that. I bet it was off the newspaper or something this morning.
This is to remind me to buy rubber bands. There's nothing more glamorous than that about it. Also, ex-smokers, I notice, wear these because if they get the urge, they go, oh, geez.
Oh, ah.
And then they associate the craving to smoke with pain.
You're just making that up.
I know, but you almost believed me.
I did.
No, they do. I've seen them go. It's Pavlovian.
Yes.
That's not who I mean.
Yes.
Whose dogs?
Pavlov's dogs.
Whose dogs salivated?
Pavlov's.
If you snap yourself and hurt yourself when you think of something you want to do, like expose yourself in the park or so, you know, whatever they do in England. Or smoke. By the way, you smoked so convincingly on Prime Suspect. I feared for your... Do you enjoy them in good health?
I don't smoke, no, not in real life. But
I'm so glad to hear that.
Amazing drug. If you don't smoke, you realise what an incredibly strong drug it is. Because when you have to smoke, a couple of puffs, you know, just literally 2 puffs down into the lungs. Oh, you feel dizzy, you feel sick, you don't want to eat anymore, you feel hyper, and you immediately want a cigarette. I mean, immediately.
And were you treated to the spectacle of the 8 grown liars in suits testifying before the committee in Washington, each putting themselves on the record that nicotine is not addicting?
No, I missed that.
Yeah, the tobacco. Somehow they all agreed. They're the only 8 who don't know that it's addicting, and they happen to be executives of tobacco companies.
But isn't it amazing the way people can lie under oath?
Coincidence.
I mean, isn't it amazing?
It is to me.
How non-actors... It's very hard for actors to act, and when you see, you know, I always think it's incredible on television. You're flicking through, you can tell immediately if you're watching, even if 10 seconds, 5 seconds, you can tell if it's a real person standing there talking about, you know, their flat just having been burgled or something, or if it's an actor acting immediately.
What is that difference? You know,
That's the great mystery.
You're switching channels, and for a millisecond you think, is this real or is this a court drama? Let's
but
say.
not more than a millisecond, because you know.
Now, what is that difference? It would be very instructive to know in acting.
Well, of course, as actors, that's what I watch all the time at these reality shows like Cops and indeed Court TV, because the real, and you watch it as an actor because how do they do it? They're so good at it. How do they do it?
I noticed
the ones
something.
who are lying, and of course the ones who are absolutely not lying. But the ones who are lying, in a way, are more mesmerising than the ones who are telling the truth.
Could you tell when the Menendez brothers were lying?
No, not to the eye. Couldn't tell Anita Hill, Clarence Thingamajig, Higgins, what's his name, Thomas.
Clarence Thomas, yeah.
Clarence Thomas. Who, could you tell who was lying? I mean, and maybe no one's lying.
No, but I could tell that those were his teeth and that he was lying through them. A variation on something else. But we were talking about it earlier. But I wonder, I've talked about this before. I've never seen an actor make the specific choice, as they say, or actress, when they're terribly moved, as when a coach is retiring on real television, or someone is reciting finding his child dead, and their features don't change at all. They just stop.
No acting. That's right. They go. That's right.
For a moment. And
the voice comes out very flat, amazingly flat, and of course
no tears.
No tears. Well, or if they cry, it's not. You don't hear the breakdown in their voice. Actually, I think that's one of the great misleading things. To go back to court television and all the rest of it, is that things that have really happened to people, and I know it happens with rape victims, for example. The more traumatized they are by it, the less they can emote in court. So they can't break down in court.
They've been through all the emotion.
They've been through it all.
Yeah.
They cannot break down in court. They become very frozen. And because they're so frozen and so traumatized, to the jury it looks as if it hasn't affected them at all. Whereas the people who have not been traumatized and who are actually acting, they're the ones who do all the big breakdowns and and all that stuff in court.
And then later you frustratingly see one of the jurors, after the person's been acquitted, saying, well, she didn't cry, and any mother would have cried.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.